I swear to God, if I watched a video like this back when I was like 16, my life would have been like this way earlier. So all of you who are still teens and you're watching this, bro, you're so lucky. But for those of you who are older, then thank you, sir. I appreciate it for watching my channel. But look, here are 8 money laws that are going to teach you more than a $5,000 money course. So we're going to start off in the bedroom. And by that, I mean, bro, most people have such trouble waking up in the morning, especially my brother. Like, if I don't take his blanket off, start yelling at him, call his phones literally 40 times, even sometimes give him like a little aggressive tickle, he just never wakes up. So what I found is that the best solution for getting out of bed like super duper fast is just don't get in the bed in the first place. Get rid of the bed and just sleep on the floor. And no, like I don't mean put a mattress and then sleep on the floor with a mattress. That's not what I mean. I mean sleep on like a rock hard solid floor. Because remember, especially if you're a teenager, having like a nice comfortable bed is just a luxury, bro. Most of us don't even deserve that luxury. Like, why are you even rewarding yourself with a nice comfortable bed? But you know what's also crazy? Sleeping on the floor, like sleeping on a rock solid hard floor, is actually anabolic. Like, that should raise your testosterone levels. But you know what, bro? No. You're a teen. Why are you even sleeping? Like, if you don't have the results that you want right now, don't freaking sleep, go work. And if you're really tired, okay, fine, just sleep vertical, sleep standing up. Don't go like sleep horizontal. Like, you know what? I remember when I was very broke, I used to actually tell my dad, I'm like, I'm trying everything, but nothing is working. And he would tell me, he'd be like, Mohammed, you're sleeping like 12 hours a day. I'm like, you're so right, Baba. But you know what? On a serious note, like our Prophet, peace be upon him, like he used to actually sleep on a very uncomfortable bed. And all of a sudden now, everyone has like the most comfortable bed of all time. I'm guilty of this too, by the way. Like my bed, if you go on my bed and you sleep in it, you wouldn't want to get up. Like you literally sink in. So I need to fix this myself too. Like no more comfort. And it's funny because everyone, if you look at like their IG bio, all of it just says seek discomfort. And then you would see them going to sleep on like the most comfortable bed of all time. So like a hard, solid surface is going to give you enough sleep, but it's not going to keep you on the bed for a longer amount of time. Because remember, most of you, even if you're sleeping 8 to 9 hours, you're not really sleeping 8 to 9 hours. You're on that bed for at least 12 hours. Because what are you doing? You're just on the phone before you sleep for at least like 2 hours. And then you're on the phone after you wake up for at least 2 hours. So you're sleeping 8 hours. You're spending 2 hours just on the phone. That's already 10. And then you spend 2 more hours just on the phone. That's already 12. So literally half the day you're just on the bed. Get rid of that bed, bro. That bed is freaking, it's a virus. So this is law number 1. Stop being comfortable. Get rid of the bed. No more sleep. Now the second law is that this one actually is very crazy. I don't remember who actually taught this to me, but I think it was from Tate. And that is to minimize the time between thoughts and then action. Most of us, what we do is that we would have a thought right here, right? And then we would have an action. But then the amount of time that it takes from the thought to become an action is it's literally like a week or a month or even like a whole year. But what I'm trying to say here is this gap between the thought and then the action. Try to minimize that. So whenever you have a thought right here, immediately try to go and act on it. Now look, this doesn't mean that if one of your thoughts is like, I want to punch my sister, all of a sudden you're like, oh, the action, I'll just go punch my sister. That's not what I'm talking about. Don't be punching your sister here. But I'm saying, like, for example, like a thought and an action, if you go to a restaurant and you're looking at the menu, bro, for me, when I look at the menu, I've only got 6 seconds to pick what I want. So I'll literally go, look at the menu, steak, that's it, I'm done, steak. Because what's happening is it's conditioning you. I had the thoughts and I took the action. I looked at the menu, immediately, I'm done. I picked steak, that's it. And it's funny because, like, you have an amazing thought, go tweet it. That's it. Minimize the time. Or like you just came out of the shower and you have like such nice ideas, go and make a TikTok video about it. You're done. Or you found like a winning dropshipping product, go and make the store and run the ads. Or for example, you see Cardi B, just freaking throw juice at her. That's it. Like, just learn to act quick. And what's going to happen is eventually this is going to become a muscle. Like, even when you're driving now, you'll just make quick decisions. So you're not being on the defensive anymore. You're not being reactive. You're not reactive anymore. You're just proactive. You're offensive. And you've heard this, right? Attack is the best defense. So eventually what's going to happen is that this is literally going to translate to everything. So if the GPS says that you'll reach in like 30 minutes, at first you're going to reach in 25 minutes. But then slowly, you'll reach in 20. Eventually, 30-minute drive, you've already reached it in like 10 minutes, which is beautiful. Okay, like, obviously, I'm not saying like become reckless and stuff like that, but the whole point is speed. So that's what Tate means when he's talking about speed. Whenever you have the thought, go and act on it. And once again, just a disclaimer, I'm not saying do bad things, but I'm just giving you like a framework on how to think about this, how to think of speed. So if I had an idea of a product to launch, immediately go and act on it. Don't be waiting around. Just go and act on it. Reduce the time between those two. Look, you do know if you're doing more than you're thinking, you'll be successful. That's it. Think of it, literally think of it like the doing is your meditation. Because nowadays we're talking about meditation and stuff, but people are actually getting stuck in the meditation. They would go and do like Wim Hof breathing for like the entire morning. They would have like a morning routine consisting of just so many things to do. And it's like, okay, when are you going to start doing the work, Habibi? So from now on, think of the actual work as the meditation. Always be aware of the thoughts, and whenever you have the good thoughts, immediately go and act on it. Alright, so for the third law, now look, I'm gonna be honest, I don't have $1 million in my bank account. I have more than most people, but not $1 million. But you know what? In my head, I'm already a millionaire. And this isn't like some hippie thing where it's like believe it before you see it. That's not what I mean. Because nowadays, the real currency is not money. It's not your bank account. The real currency is attention, views, like eyeballs, people seeing your stuff. Like the more attention you have, the more money you'll make. And if you have no attention, Habibi, you could be like the most valuable chode on earth. You can have like the most valuable product in existence. But if you have no attention, that thing is useless. No one cares about it. It's literally like if a pope pooped in a forest, did he really poop in the forest if no one saw him? Okay, that was a bad example. But you know what I mean, right? So look, how do you actually get attention? It's easy. It's not that hard. It's easy. Because think about this. If you go to a car meeting and this car meeting is filled with like Toyota or like Kia or like Honda, all these average cars, but then you come into that car meeting with a Lamborghini, then what's going to happen? You'll get the most attention because one, that car looks different, but then two, that car is valuable. But now what do you do if you go to like a car meeting, but this car meeting is filled with Lamborghinis, is filled with exotic cars? How do you actually get the attention if that's the car meeting that you're going to? Now some of you might actually come here and then just be like, okay, I'll just pull up in like a Toyota, I'll pull up in a Kia, because that's different. Okay, that might work. But think more a bit. What's gonna get more attention is if you go to this car meeting with like an ambulance truck, like an ambulance car. So just like GTA, if you go and steal like an ambulance and then take this ambulance and go to like a Lamborghini car meeting with it, you'll definitely be getting the most attention. And why is that? Because first of all, that car is different, but then second of all, everyone's gonna be like, how the heck does this guy have this car? It's like, it's something that not many people have done, but it's so simple. Now look, if you take that idea and you apply it everywhere, that's how you get attention, bro. And it's actually so funny because when you see most YouTubers, like literally, when you go and watch most YouTubers, they all have like some nice studios, they have like some nice editing, they just have like some just nice setups for their YouTube videos. But then you look at me, and it's like I have a freaking mini mouse doll right here and a Spider-Man, and a freaking mic just taking up half the screen, and a room that literally looks like my closet. It's so funny, but you know what's happening? When someone watches videos of me talking about making money, but then they just see this whole setup, they're gonna be like, what the heck is happening here? How is this freaking chode claiming that he's making money when he's sitting in literally a closet? It's not a closet, by the way. But this is literally taking your attention because it's different. It's different from the other YouTube videos that you've seen. But the other part about it too is that it's also retaining your attention because when I'm speaking, most of you are like, dang, okay, this guy actually knows what he's talking about, and that's why I retain your attention. So don't just be thinking about it as like, okay, I just have to be doing the opposite of other people, and as a result, I'll be getting attention. That's not just what I mean. Yes, do that, but also try to retain the attention. So if you're going to be talking about how to make money and stuff, but you have no knowledge about that, you have no experience on that, you might get attention in the first few seconds, but when people realize you got nothing to say, you have literally no knowledge, no IQ, no one's going to listen to you. So you lose the people that give you their attention. Now look, another way to get attention is through headlines. Every single day, try writing down at least 20 headlines. Now this is something I used to do. I used to actually write like 20 ideas, 10 to 20 ideas a day, or 10 to 20 headlines a day, because I'm trying to exercise like my muscle. The muscle that helps you to write better copy. The muscle that helps you to actually get attention. Like make this a habit, because even if you're not doing YouTube, if you can't make good headlines or like titles or hooks, you can't get people's attention. And if you can't get people's attention, you're done. You're not going to do anything in this online world. Like no one's going to care about your content. No one's going to care about your ads. No one's going to care about your books even. Now for headlines, if I teach you how to do it, this whole video is going to take an hour long. So what I'm going to do, go on this website right here. It's called swipe.co. And then you see this right here. So click on all types and then click on advertorial. Now you'll see a bunch of advertorials just like these. Now listen, these advertorials right here, they were all written in the past. Now what happened is that people in the past, they never had access to pictures and they never had access to videos. So they used to be sending like direct mails to people's houses and they tried to actually get people's attention using only words. They try to sell products using only words. Like, imagine how hard that is. It's so hard, which means all of these had to be like the best of the best. Because you're spending money to make your direct mail go to people's houses. So if this is not giving you money back in return, you're just wasting money. The business is not going to succeed. So for these people, bro, like they had to be like the best copywriters of all time. So what I actually used to do, and I still do this to this day, is that I literally go here and I read all the stuff. Literally read all the stuff. Now look, it might look boring just from the first look. Like if you look at it, it looks boring. I'm not gonna lie. But just click on any of them and just read them. Literally read them. You should be reading at least one of these every single day. So what's gonna happen is that this is actually gonna train your mind on what actually gets attention and how do you actually write in a way that gets attention. Because listen, words, Habibi, words are the oxygen of the internet. You need to be good at words. You look at the whole internet is just filled with words. Even if we're talking about words in a video, it's still words. So all of this stuff right here, like, put it all in your brain. This has been written by the best of the best copywriters. Anyway, now for number 4. So look, there's a huge difference between a boss mindset and an employee mindset. So one huge difference is that a boss gets paid daily, but an employee gets paid only monthly. Now everyone wants to be like their own boss and stuff, so if you want to be your own boss, then you need to learn how to actually get paid daily. Because the problem, Habibi, is that most of you guys are only thinking, how much can I make monthly? Or when am I going to get paid every single month? Take that mindset, like, put it in the garbage, Habibi. You need to be thinking, how do I get paid today? Like literally right now. Like listen, I don't care if today you only made $5. Habibi, $5 is better than $0. So if you made a sale for only $5 and you're done, that's good. Like every single sale is good. Every single sale is momentum. And you know what's funny? Grant Cardone, Habibi, Grant Cardone has so much money. This guy's literally almost a billionaire. He's probably a billionaire right now. I don't even know. But this guy still does work that can only get him like $50 a day. He still does those type of work. And what's funny is that most of you guys, I remember I think in 2020 maybe, most of you guys watched that video from CoffeeZilla and you guys all laughed at Grant Cardone when he got exposed to selling shoutouts for like such cheap price. It's like, why are you laughing at Grant when he's selling shoutouts for a cheap price? Why are you laughing at that? Most of you guys are not realizing what he's actually doing. He actually says it in his book. He's like, I'm the hardest working person in the whole world for only $1. I'd work my booty off just for $1. Because if you think about it, $1 is not much different from $1 million. Here's what I mean. Both actually take the same amount of work involved. Like if I got on a call right now with someone and I closed them for like $1,000, I could get on that same call for the same amount of time and I would close someone for $1 million. And I'd be doing the same amount of time and saying almost the same words. Like I'm literally doing the same amount of work. So just because you think it's like little money, don't be like, oh, it's not worth it. It's worth it, Habibi. Because it's not the money. It's being able to do this work and not only to keep the momentum going of like daily sales, but to condition yourself. Whether it's $1 or $1 million, I'm still doing the work for it. Because trust me, it's all the same. And through this, you'll actually see more opportunities for like bigger numbers. Because now you're actually prepared for it. Because you know what's funny? Like I remember when I got on a 15-minute call with this guy, I literally closed him for like $8,000. And I'm like, Habib, I used to do the same amount of work that I closed this guy for $8,000 to close like a $500 deal. And here I am closing a guy for like $8,000. Using the same amount of work and the same amount of time. But you still have to do all. But also remember, a boss mindset is getting paid daily. Because every day, like you're spending money. Even if you're not spending actual money, you're still living in a house. You're still living somewhere. You're still paying money for electricity and stuff. Which means, instead of consuming daily, Habibi, start producing daily. Trust me, it's only when you're producing, you'll actually start to get money daily. So Grant Cardone, he was producing shoutouts. He wasn't just consuming content. Bro, 95% of the people, they're only just consuming. And that's not bad. Because now you're going to start producing, and who's going to consume your content? The 95% of the people. And all of that is because you're watching this video, and that's what I'm saying. Like, if I watched this video from all the way back then, bro, I would have been crazy, man. And by producing, bro, it could be content, it could be posting, it could be literally any single thing that you do online. Just start producing. And whatever you're already consuming, like if you're spending a bunch of time on TikTok, start making TikTok, man. All right, now for the 5th law. So, Habibi, stress is good. I remember when I was actually broke, it's funny because, listen, if you're broke or if you're rich, you still have stress. In both ways, you have stress. It's just which one do you want? Do you want the stress of no money or the stress of money. So when I was broke, I used to have the stress of no money. And I hate that stress, man. But when I finally put it in my head that now I'm like, you know what? No, I'll actually start taking the stress of money, which means I'll start taking other people's stresses away. And as a result, they will give me money. So what's happening is that when you take other people's stresses away, that's when you actually make money. Because what you're doing is you're solving problems. The bigger the problem is, the more money you make. So if you look at any person with a huge bank account, Habibi, they have a huge amount of stress, which is still good. So you need to be able to adapt with stress. You need to know how to live with stress. You need to start loving stress. Like if you're going through a day and you're just comfortable, that's not good, Habibi. I'm telling you, stress is good. Like if you look at Tate, his whole life is stress. And that's not a bad thing, that's a good thing. If you want money, that's a good thing. If you don't want money, it's funny because again, you still have the same stress. It's just a different kind of stress, which is more annoying. So one way I actually deal with stress, and I'm not saying it's like I'm trying to get rid of stress, I love stress, but one way I actually deal with it is just through caffeine. Caffeine is so good, bro. Like, I know most of you guys watch my videos and you're like, lay off the caffeine or lay off the meth. Screw that, Habib. I'm not gonna lay off the meth or the caffeine. I don't take meth, obviously. But I actually notice, like, the more caffeine I take, it's just the more money I make. Which is, it rhymes, man, so it makes sense. But it's actually funny, like the most stressful businesses are the businesses that are actually able to give you the most money. So from now on, if something is actually stressful, like strive to actually want to go and do it. Strive to actually go and take the stress. Because it's funny, bro, like most people talk about how to get rid of stress. Why is everyone talking about how to get rid of stress? No, I want how to increase more stress. Because if we're actually after the money, you want the stress, man. That's it. It's just more stress. But look, for the sixth principle, it's called urgency and scarcity. Now, this is something that if you don't have in your marketing, if you don't have this in your ads, no one's ever going to take a single action because of your ads. Now, urgency just means if you don't do this right now, this thing is gone. Scarcity just means we're very low on stock, so you want to get it, you better get it right now. Now, they're very similar, but try to only use one of them. Don't be like, this discount code is only like 50% off, and it only lasts like 24 hours, but we're also very low on stock. If you try to combine them, they won't really work. But look, anytime you're actually writing something, anytime you do anything, always try to include urgency or scarcity. Now, scarcity, if you actually add scarcity, what that does is that it actually increases the value of something. Like, why is it that Jordan shoes are more valuable than fake Jordan shoes? Because the Jordan shoes are actually scarce. Not many Jordans are actually made, but the fake ones, there's so many of them. And as a result, the Jordan shoes, first of all, you can charge higher prices for it. And second of all, people want it more because it's actually scarce. And because of this, the value goes up. Now, what's funny is that people think that money is scarce. Money is not scarce. It's only scarce because you've been convinced that money is scarce. So what I'm trying to tell you is like learn all these principles, but try not to make them work on your own self. It's almost like this is how you actually get taken out of the matrix, when you learn all these principles. Now, for urgency, what most people will do is that they try to use urgency like, in the next 24 hours, I'm only accepting 50 people. Or in the next 24 hours, if you don't buy right now, like that's it. Like the discount code is like, it's gone. But I don't like that because first of all, it looks fake. It just sounds fake. So you want to create urgency using real scenarios. Like if I told you right now, go sit on that chair, and then you actually go and sit on it, and then I'm like, okay, if you don't get off of that chair, I'm going to burn this chair. Like that is urgency because now you want to get off the chair because you know there's going to be such a big problem that's going to happen to the chair and it's going to hurt your life. So what I'm trying to say, Habibi, is that urgency, you want to use it in like that fashion. Don't be telling people if you don't buy this, I'm going to kill you. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say, for example, if you're like a person that's trying to teach people how to lose weight, what you can actually say is that if you don't lose weight, your wife is not going to love you anymore. If you don't lose weight, not a single girl's going to want to be with you anymore. And if someone is actually within that target market where they actually care about that, then they're going to want to act upon that. Now, everyone's actually different. That's why you have to do your market research. But if you say to like an older person who's already done with his wife, if you tell him he loves his kids a lot, and you're just here telling him, you're like, if you don't lose weight, and if you don't actually fix your health, your blood sugar is going to actually kill you. It's going to give you a heart attack. And as a result, your grandkids, they're not going to see their grandfather. Something like that is actually going to touch that person. So there's actually urgency involved in that. Now, I'm not saying become like a douchebag and then just use this like whenever you want. This is just a tactic that you can use to actually get people moving. Because remember, you're also helping them. So you want to remind them of the urgent things. That's why market research is so important. Do your research, find out what exactly makes this person not want to sleep at night, and take this and use it on them. This is so vital. This is so important. If you don't have this in your marketing, no one's ever going to buy it. Trust me, no one's going to buy it. Because most people are actually procrastinators. Most people are not going to buy unless they know time is going to be done. Time is limited. So if you don't use this right now, like, Habib, you're not going to have a good life. You're not going to have actual money. See, I'm using urgency. But no, on a serious note, like this is just one of the tactics that you can use in your copy to basically give steroids to your copy. Alright, now for the seventh law, this was something that I was always fighting with, and ever since I actually started not fighting with this is when my money actually started going up. So for this one is try to spend more money than you're comfortable with. Now look, this does not mean that go and buy like just some stupid stuff. Go and buy like a bunch of shoes. Go buy just a bunch of those hats and stuff. Don't just go and buy a bunch of things that don't make you money. That's not what I mean. What I mean is that if you have money in the bank, think of the money in the bank as like food in a fridge. Now, if you take food in the fridge and you leave it in the fridge for too long, what's going to happen? Eventually, it's going to become stale. So if you take your money and you leave it in the bank for too long, what's going to happen? It's going to lose value. It's actually going to start going down. So if you have money in the bank, take that money and just put it everywhere. Put it everywhere that can make you more money. Try to take this money and build cash flow with it. This is so important because the money in your bank does not matter, Habibi. Cash flow is what actually matters. Like if you take this money in your bank right now that you have and you send it to someone who's like a ghostwriter and you tell them, write me a book, and then you take more money and then send it to some guy who's gonna like create you like a cover page. You're like, create me a cover page for this type of book. Now you use this money from the bank and you made like a cover page, you made like an entire book, you put those two things together, you upload it on like an Amazon, KDP, and all of a sudden, now you spent like almost $2,000 on a book and a cover page, and you're making money with it. So as a result, what's going to happen? You'll start having cash flow with it. And this is beautiful. Once you start getting cash flow, you can forget about the money in the bank. The more money you see in the bank now, just take this money and put it everywhere. Put it everywhere that's going to give you more money. Go and buy courses. Get haircuts. Habibi, I was so against haircuts. I used to hate spending money on haircuts. But I realized I'm like, the better my hair is, apparently the more views I get. It's pretty cool. I don't know how true that is. But Habibi, take that money, invest in an expensive gym. Take that money, go and buy steak. Take that money, go and buy raw milk. Like, invest in your health. Invest in your brain. Invest in everything that's within you. Invest in yourself, Habibi. Once you do that, like, the money is not just something in the bank anymore. The money is actually here to actually come and serve you now. And what's happening too is that you're becoming more of a high value person. Like, if I don't, Habibi, I spent so much money on books and courses, and I know for a fact that if I don't spend this money on these courses and books, like, I don't think I would actually have as much information as I do. I don't think I would actually be able to do as much of the things that I do. Like, this is actually going to help you become more of a valuable person. And what's wrong with taking this money and spending it on, like, mentorships? Even if it costs $20,000, go and spend it. If you have that much, like, literally think of the money in your bank as like energy. If you just keep this energy in the bank, you're constricting it. So what happens if you constrict it? It's just going to be gone. It won't actually be able to be constricted for a long amount of time. So what's going to happen is that this money is going to go by itself. It's literally going to go away by itself. I remember this one point I actually had $20,000 in my bank and I felt so comfortable. But all of a sudden I remember it's like, it just kept going down. I'm like, why is this money going down? I'm not even buying a single thing, but it still goes down. Now look, I hope I'm not going to be getting comments. It's like, follow your own advice, go and buy a better room, go and buy a better setup, buy a better mic. I don't know, man. I guess you're right, but I like this room. Why are you guys so against this room? You're still watching the video, so why are you against this room? But you know what I mean. Just take this money and just put it everywhere that can actually give you more cash flow. Don't be constricting it. Don't just be leaving it in the fridge. But okay, the last money law is called social proof. Now, social proof, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys know what social proof is, but not many of you guys know it the way I'll describe it to you. Now, with social proof, if you have, like, the more social proof you have, the more prices you can actually increase, like the higher prices you can charge, and the more the thing actually becomes scarce or urgent. Like, you can actually come and start using social proof as urgency too. But when you have social proof, you'll become more credible. Like, nowadays, actually, it's pretty sad, but we actually judge people based on the amount of subscribers they have. Bro, I know people that they knew me in real life, you know? They actually knew me in real life. They've seen me, they've talked to me. But a year from now, when I actually gain 100k subscribers, all of a sudden they're like, at the beginning they never cared about me, but now it's like, I want to talk to that guy, I want to see, like, I want to be more around this guy. And I'm like, Habibi, I'm the same exact guy that I was last year, but it's just I didn't have 100k subscribers. All of a sudden now you want to talk to me because I have 100k subscribers? Makes no sense. But it's a bias that people have in their heads. Social proof. The more social proof a thing has, the more money it's gonna make. Like, Kylie Jenner right now can put any product on the market right now and she'll make money. Why can she make money? Like, why is that possible? Because she has social proof. She has people's trust, and as a result, she can charge higher prices. And as a result, there's more urgency because people know that this thing's just gonna sell out super fast. So try to actually construct social proof in anywhere you do. Like, any business you have, try to inject social proof in it. Now you can do it artificially by like doing like the tweet generation hack, or buying like the fake followers, or just showing like a bunch of reviews from like other brands and stuff. But that's an artificial way. So if you don't have social proof, it's okay. All you gotta do is just, it's funny because the more content you actually have, the more content you produce, the more social proof is actually going to be built. So if you have no social proof, the solution, make more content. That's it. But not just more content, but like content that's actually valuable. That by itself is going to increase your social proof. Even if you're doing dropshipping, Habibi, just make more content. Just because you posted one TikTok organic video and it flopped, doesn't mean you're done. No, Habibi, go post more. What are you freaking doing? The more content, the more social proof. Now, with social proof, you can actually increase your price because it's like a lot of people are buying it. So if you increase the price, still a lot of people are still going to be buying it. But also because the more people that are actually want your product, the more your product is actually valuable. So as a result, the more scarce. And as a result, the more the price should be. But the other thing too is that you can actually use this as urgency. So when people are actually seeing a bunch of people joining your course, for example, when they're seeing a bunch of people buying your product, now you can just use these things and just use them as social proof. What's going to happen in people's brain? They're going to feel like they're missing out. FOMO. FOMO is such a huge thing that is a bias in people's heads. So if you use FOMO, if you use urgency in people, people are more likely to actually come and take action. Like forget saying stuff like 50% off, it's done in 24 hours and stuff. That's so lame. This is literally level 1 marketing. No, you want to get to like level 10, Habibi. Look at how many people are joining this freaking course and you're still not in it. People are happy here and you're still not in it. That's more good. That's more beautiful. But anyway, these were the 8 money laws that I wish that I actually learned these like since the beginning of time. Because if I learned these 8 money laws, then Habibi, would have been so freaking crazy. But I hope you enjoyed this whole video. If you did, just let me know.